Hello, you archaeologists. I'm the Johnstruct. Welcome to the proximity. I'm having a Final Fantasy XVI adventure. Let us continue, shall we? We're doing side quests. Lots of so many side quests. There's Cyril. Everyone loves Cyril.
Lord Rossfield, is there aught the Undying might assist you with this day?
Perhaps.
Perhaps.
My brother said that your order was helping him with his quest to uncover Ultima's origins. Have you learned anything of note since last we spoke?
Little and less.
Left the coke out. Now it's
I
warm.
Be assured, however,
I'm flat.
we will not rest until the truth is known.
Still drinking though.
Now, our archaeologians scour ruins in every corner of the realm for traces of Ultima's touch.
Fallen ruins, I take it. Dating back as far as Phoenix Gate.
Indeed. Ultima's thralls are oft sighted among the remnants of the fallen civilization, as if protecting the secrets concealed within.
Secrets we'd see unearthed.
Should our methods be of interest, my lord, mayhap it would please you to observe some of our number at work.
Would that be possible?
Of course. A survey is being conducted not far from here. Perchance you are familiar with Kretov, a small hamlet built around a fallen airship. I was due to visit my colleagues there to collect their preliminary findings, but if you would consent to do so in my stead, I'm sure that they would be honored to relate any discoveries they have made to you directly.
Oh.
All right. I'll go and meet with them.
They will be most gratified, I am sure. Might I suggest you take the road through Titan's Wake? It will lead you straight to the village after but a short walk.
Thank you.
Walking? Oh.
I wish you a safe journey, my lord. May the Firebird's flames burn ever in your heart.
This is only a short stream, because I have a prior engagement in a couple of hours, so I think this will just be a side quest stream, which I think I said in the last episode, but if it was late, then I might have...
A village built around an airship. Sounds like another lost wing.
You know, when it's late, I can... my words can be unclear. Titan's Wake, it's a new place. It's that dread comet. Yes, that bird fucked us up. But I wasn't dodging the comets. This is probably a good time to try out a bunch of stuff though, but also, I kind of just want to do the quest. Oh. How do I get in there?
Let's go.
Yeah. You know what? I don't think I use Cold Snap. I reckon I would. We're gonna lock that. We're gonna unlock this Wings of Light. Lock everything else that I bought. Yeah, I know it's not loads, but I think I prefer it on ignition. 'Cause I use it a lot more than Wings of Light. I know it does a lot of damage, but there we go. Because if it just gets in another level, I never get to level 3, do I? Thank you! It's a Helgaroo. I've been meaning to mention this, I like that it tells you the health of the monsters that are nearby. Okay. But, well, fuck back me in particular, I guess.
Come on. Enough of you, are there?
I've never ever needed... I guess he does slow down, but I've never ever needed to go, whoa! Whoa, whoa, don't want to fall off the edge. Because you can just sort of... It's fine. You know what?
Be safe.
It's a new path. Let's walk it. It's a lovely day. I failed. I wasn't strong enough. Everybody's dead.
Oh no. You'll pay for this. There may still be survivors.
Curious.
Whatever that
Fool's
thing
gold.
is, I'd say it's their leader.
I'm sorry I dodged that. I definitely didn't dodge that or that. Two things at the same time. If only we had our thing, we might be able to stack more things at the same time.
Thanks, boy.
Enemies have been slain.
Should have stayed in the past. These must be Cyril's colleagues.
You have our thanks, stranger.
Who are you?
How are you?
Ah, forgive me, my lord. I did not recognize you. You are Lord Rosfield, are you not? We are archaeologians, tasked with surveying this site. When the echoes appeared, our brothers here occupied their attentions. Thanks to them, and to you, we were, for a mercy, able to see our duty to its conclusion.
You call that a mercy? Your brothers might still be alive if you put their safety before your duty. Surely this survey wasn't worth dying for.
We are charged with uncovering Ultima's origins. A duty of the highest...
It's from Final Fantasy 2.
As I'm sure you will agree.
And you think your dead brothers would agree with you too?
I know they would. They gave their lives for the cause, an honor to which all Undying aspire. Now, to what do we owe the honor of your presence, Lord Marquis?
Cyril told me of your work here, and I agreed to collect your findings in his stead.
I see. That is most kind.
And 6 because of Ultima Weapon, but that's a different
With
thing.
our humble thanks.
I guess we'll see that
The
though.
Firebird's flame burn ever in your heart, as it does in ours.
Okay. I've got a different fire, dude, but whatever.
It's one thing to lay down your life for another, but for a survey... I suppose I'd better get this back to Cyril.
I'm taking this. Mark, we're right now. Yeah, so obviously I use the potions as a crutch because I've been watching somebody who doesn't use the potions, who refuses to use them. Which I think is, I mean, he's a better game player than me, so you know, maybe it's worth doing it. One thing is interesting to see is it's just my instinct for the dodge is just a little bit bad. Like when you're on it, but like if you just feel it in the wrong place, it's just really difficult to dodge. And so watching somebody good at the game kind of express that was kind of nice. Like even though he's much better, it's still occasionally you sense that, or just somebody going, fucking slightly too late. Never fucking needed to buy these ever.
Anything else? Take care.
What's this?
Well, this isn't at all foreboding.
Okay.
Ah, you are returned, my lord.
I collected your colleagues' preliminary findings. Here, take them.
A scroll containing the prelim findings, the Undying ill-starred venture into the ruins of Kretov, sealed within the wax imprint of the phoenix feather.
My thanks. I shall study them and inform you forthwith if I discover aught that might aid you in your fight against Ultima.
Cyril, your survey party suffered several losses in Kretov. Losses which could have been avoided, had the others not chosen to complete their work, instead of saving their friends. Were these your orders?
No. This was their choice. Every Undying devotes his life to the service of the Phoenix. It is our sole duty, and should we die in discharging it, so be it.
Even when death is avoidable.
My lord, I fear that this is not a point over which it would be fruitful to argue. The Undying have served the Phoenix for countless generations, and your opinion of our methods, however earnest, is not like to change them. We live to serve the Phoenix. Our very order exists for that purpose, and that purpose alone.
Cyril, I know that you and your brethren answer only to Joshua, but allow me to offer you a word of advice. It does not further the cause of the Phoenix to have his loyal followers surrender their lives without good reason. Provide your survey parties with an escort, that they might live to do their duty for years to come. Think not only of how you can serve the Phoenix, but how Joshua would want you to serve him. Please. For all our sakes.
I thank you for your advice, my lord. If you will permit me to respond, our faith in his grace, Joshua Rossfield, is absolute. And we of the Undying will do what we believe is right to fulfill our duty unto him. As first shield to the Phoenix, I am sure you understand what it means to do one's duty.
I do.
Then we are of the same mind. And it is my hope that we may continue to do our duty
Together. Advice. Age. Have a look at that later. That was a very good one.
Take that, you naughty thing!
Clive! To what do I owe the pleasure?
I just wanted to see how the town's been faring since you brought everyone together.
Since we brought everyone together, all is absolutely wonderful. Conrad and Natalie's hands remain safely away from each other's throats, and firmly at the helm. Our stores are full, and the bandits still too disorganized to raid them. Just as the good Lady Jane and Lord Underhill intended.
Are you a lord? Lubor's going to be one too. They're going to make him the Lord of Dalamil, because of how he stopped all the grown-ups from fighting.
It's the mayor of Dalamil, dear child, and the vote hasn't taken place just yet. But if the people wish me to lead them, I shall. And my first act will be to build a school so that menaces like you two learn not to interrupt your elders. Speaking of menaces, there may be a rather worrying one just over the horizon.
May there indeed.
I'm afraid the example Conrad and Natalie set in putting aside their differences and presenting a united front might have caught the bandits' attention. And they might have elected to take a similar approach. They have formed what one could call a League of Outlaws, and they grow more organized by the day.
But we'll fight them all off just like last time, no matter how many of them there are. Won't we, Lubor?
Of course we will. If we continue to work together, we can overcome any challenge we choose to face. The longer we avoid facing this one, the more difficult it will be. until the only way to overcome it might be to run for the hills. Our best hope is to nip these efforts at organization in the bud by finding those ne'er-do-wells who have yet to join the cause and ensuring that they never do. Perhaps a certain Lord Underhill might be willing to lend us his aid once more?
How could I refuse?
Thank you, my lord. Victor will fill you in on the particulars. I have him stationed by the desert gate, receiving and collating reports from my scouts. Such an amenable soul. He reminds me of you.
I'll go and speak with him.
Quest accepted.
What's the difference between a lord and a mayor? That's easy. One of them's
A League of Outlaws. Sounds like we have some competition. Still in Dalamil, Victor?
Ah, Sid.
I thought you'd have returned to Cosnis by now.
I did. Then I came back. I've developed something of a fondness for the place. And having worked so hard to see it saved from one fate, it would seem remiss to abandon it to another. A sentiment Master Lubor certainly isn't shy about exploiting. Hence my doing his bidding yet again.
You're not the only one.
What does he want you to do?
He asked for my aid in putting down the bandits. And he said that you might be able to help me find them.
Then you've come at just the right time. I was on my way to speak with Conrad about how to organize our forces. There are more camps in the vicinity than we can safely strike at once. But we must strike together, and we must strike soon at as many camps as we can. We can't give this league of theirs time to rally its forces.
All right. Which camp shall I take?
There's one upriver, just out there across the dunes.
Leave it with me.
Well, I hope there isn't like a bunch of men and then one large man.
Those ne'er-do-wells want to band together.
Knack-knacks. I was better at the humming this earlier. Oh, it's Salamander again. How did I get experience?
Ready, go? Fly, Ambrosia! That must be the camp Victor mentioned. Come on then, Toggle.
What's the vector, Victor?
That's him! The one who killed Locke and Fingers! Take his head off!
Well, who's the large guy? Perhaps later.
I'd better let Victor know.
Sid, where are you? Ah, I see the bandits didn't pose you any trouble.
No, but that's not why you're here, is it?
No. Something's happened. We need you back in Dalimil.
Those kids, they were assassins.
The whole town's in uproar. They're saying that Lubor is a bearer.
What?
Seems that one of our parties wasn't as thorough as they should have been. They let one of the bandits escape, and his escape route took him right through Dalimil. Some of the children spotted him, and he was about to silence them. And when Lubor felled him with a bolt of magic, and without a crystal.
But that's not possible.
It is, if he's a bearer and has been hiding it all these years, which is what people are saying. If he has, well, I wouldn't blame him. No man is branded by choice. Still, all those people see is a man who's lied to them all his life. One who was made a leader of himself when the world believed he should have been a slave.
Fuck.
I don't know where we go from here.
All right.
But I know one thing. Lubor needs all the friends he can get right now.
You're right.
Yeah, none of the leaders, none of the badge people have been the seal givers. They've been bearers.
And now everyone knows. I made it a habit to keep a crystal close at hand for just such an occasion. And when that occasion arose, I forgot to reach for it. Well, it was bound to come out sooner or later.
We're sorry, Lubor. We tried to keep running, but we just couldn't anymore.
There's nothing to be sorry for. I rather enjoyed playing the hero for once. All that matters to me is that you two are safe.
Look at him talking to his betters like it's nothing. All lies, I'll wager. Just like the ones he fed us all these years.
Let's give these two a light stabbing.
Once people make up their minds, it's hard to change them. We need to do something, and quickly.
Light stabbing. Look at the owl.
Not to let their prejudices blind them. Convince them that nothing has changed. That their enemy lies outside these walls, not within them.
Was that my job?
Right. We should speak to everyone.
I'm glad you agree. I'll handle the townsfolk. I'm a Dalmec born and bred. They listen to me. You head to the tavern. Make Conrad and Natalie remember who Lubor really is. They know that Lubor and I are friends. I might not make for the most impartial of interlocutors. Lord Underhill of Randalar's League of Merchants, however, is a trusted and impartial mediator of note.
I'll do what I can. Lubor, stay here with the children. I can't promise anything, but we'll try.
And that is all I can ask of you.
What do you mean, don't jump to conclusions? He cast a spell without a crystal. What other conclusion is there?
Why do they always have to make such a...
He knew all along that he was playing us for fools.
Forgive me for disturbing you, but could I have a moment of your time?
I've seen your face before.
As have I. Lord Underhill, wasn't it? Of the League of Merchants.
That's right. I wanted to speak to you about Lubor.
The rumors that he's a bearer. All true, I'm afraid.
He'll never be mayor now. Not if I have anything to do with it.
But what of his wares? Bearer or no, his steel is highly valued throughout the Republic. In this at least he's done the town a service. Might that not earn him a little leniency?
Leniency? He pretended to be one of us when he was laughing behind our backs all the while.
I'm sorry, my lord, but he lied to us. He lied to you. He cannot be trusted.
So what do you propose? Will you drive him from his home? Close his forge?
Perhaps. That is a question for the people of Dalimil, and they will thank you not to get involved.
The townsfolk have made their minds up. There was nothing I could do.
Nor I. Conrad and Natalie refused to consider anything but their own wounded pride.
You never know. Once their anger is cooled, they might see things differently. For now, we should report back to Lubor.
All right.
Why the hell would Victor take the bearers?
I assume the situation is hopeless?
There's still hope. But...
But perhaps not in this lifetime, I think it's fair to say.
You mustn't think like that, Lubor. Give them time. They'll come around. We'll talk some sense into them in the end, you'll see.
No, you won't. And your efforts would be better spent elsewhere.
But Lubor...
Rosina would often tell me that steel does not lie, that a blade is a reflection of the smith who forged it. To yourself be true, that was her point. Rather an ironic one when you consider that her life was taken with a blade of her own making. But I do not doubt that she was always true to herself and what she believed in, right to the end. And so must I be. I must do what I know to be right, no matter what others might think of me. And now, I know what that is. I must embrace my new role of villain so that the people of Dalimil have something to unite against. For only united can they hope to stand against the threat that awaits them. I'll need to make a suitably dramatic exit, of course.
Don't go, Lubor. You're the only one who was ever kind to us. We'll be all alone. Again.
Trust me, little ones. It is for the best that I go. Not only for the town, but for you, too.
How could it possibly be for the best? These children need you. The least you can do is give the townspeople a chance to change their minds.
They would not take it, Victor. It's over.
Over, you say? And so just like that, you're going to throw this town and these children to the wolves? I thought you were better than this. But it seems you had me fooled as well.
Victor.
It's already working.
Forget it. Do what you will.
You sure you're making the right choice, Lubor?
Of those available to me, I believe it's the best one. Yes. Ah, but where are my manners? Here. A reward for clearing out that bandit camp. Right then. I have packing to do.
If there's anything I can do. Anything.
I'll bear it in mind. Thank you.
He's a bearer, see? We're getting through it.
Ready, go? Thanks, Gal.
Knack, knack.
Come on.
Knack, knack. Okay, this way, lovely. Oh, we're here again. We've been here before.
Don't get surrounded. I needed that.
Well, that one was easy.
2 down, 1 to go.
How did that thing? Oh, because we had a new location, okay. Let's not dally. Oh no, but like, nothing good happens to these people. I saved their town and then they get kicked out of their position.
They'd have us believe. But there were ghosts at the gates, not days.
All is well with the world.
The creatures have been built. Those things I said before.
Hello, Dame.
Oh, Clive. What am I to do? My wards and I may soon be without a home.
Funny that.
The High Cardinal has descended from his lofty throne and taken up residence here in Northreach.
The High Cardinal?
It's always high.
The Council of Elders, second only to his Radiance at the head of the Imperial government. Not that any of those things still exist. Now he goes by his noble title, the Duke of Oriflamme.
And what does he want with Northreach?
He wants to transform it into a military stronghold, a foundation upon which to build a new Sambrec. He's already secured the support of the various army remnants, with promises that they shall be afforded the respect they deserve in his empire. One built on the confiscated property of the people.
He would rob the populace to pay for it.
Believe me, I have used every means of persuasion to discourage him from this folly. But for whatever reason, he will not listen to me.
What does Captain Philippe make of this? When the town was under attack, it was him the soldiers rallied around. Couldn't he use that influence again?
How? By speaking out against one of the most powerful men in Sambrec. A man whose stated aim is to revive the empire Philippe's comrades swore to serve. and to improve the soldiers' lot within it. The captain can offer them a regular supply of gruel and an occasional trip to the Vale to help them forget the terrors they face each day. The Duke offers them a vision of strength and safety. Now, any attempt to incite mutiny would cost Philippe the support of his men, if it did not cost him his life. But given the mood around town, mutiny may yet be unavoidable. The people have little appetite for further deprivation, least of all when it serves only to elevate others.
Who could blame them?
Clive, would you appeal to the Duke on my behalf? For your
Stab the Duke, I hear.
You have the respect of the soldiers, and they will take you to His Eminence if you ask them. And unlike Philippe, no bonds of loyalty prevent you from speaking your mind to the man. Well, will you try? You could hardly fare any worse than I did.
Oh.
I'll see what I can do.
Thank you, Clive.
Tell me then, where will I find this Duke of Oriflamme? In the garrison?
Overseeing the troops, yes.
All right. Wish me luck. I may have met this Duke before, at the Remembrance Ceremony. Let's hope I didn't make a strong impression.
You needn't fret.
Is he the guy from the cutscene? Raid! Hello, Phoenix. How was your stream?
Halt. Oh, sorry about that. You're the dame's man, aren't you? You got some business with the captain?
No, actually. With the Duke. I was hoping I might be able to speak with him.
We're under orders not to let any civilians pass. But you should be all right. His Eminence has heard all about you and your heroics. Wait here. I'll go and ask.
He is the guy from the cutscene. We're still doing side quests. They don't seem to fare well for the leaders of these places, though.
You are the sellsword who lent his aid to the garrison. The Empire owes you a debt, and I shall see it repaid. But tell me, is it wealth that you seek, or favor?
Buddy, I've been destroying the crystals.
I thought only to inquire about your plan to turn Northreach into a stronghold.
Ah, I see. You are worried the expanded garrison will render your services redundant. Yet you needn't be. A proud fighting man like yourself shall always have a place here. Pride of place, in fact. For too long has the contribution of the noble soldier been under-reckoned. But no more. For it is they who shall see the Holy Empire rebuilt, beginning right here in Northreach.
Why here, Your Eminence?
The town has been fortunate enough to escape largely unscathed from the recent troubles. Her defenses are sound, and her garrison well prepared.
Do you have the goo gun?
That can be said for Oriflamme or Twinside. The Empire wants for a capital, and I believe Northreach to be the perfect place.
Is it the glue gun?
With Caer Norvent as her citadel. Once we have seen to the refortification of both the town and the castle, we need only build a wall around both to create a city that would be the envy of the twins.
That seems like there's sort of the glue that holds the game together.
Are already underway for the construction. Soon enough, these thralls shall learn that they are no match for the might of Sanbreque.
I fear you underestimate how dangerous these creatures are, Your Eminence. Should they return in force, you will need all the people of Northreach to come together in defense of the town. Something they may be loath to do if they've been deprived of their worldly goods.
The people will do as their leaders command.
Light stabbing.
Sambrek is to be rebuilt. She will require a functioning government. One whose authority is beyond question. That is why this levy is necessary. So that any man who wishes to join the army might do so and be fed, outfitted, and paid as befits a defender of the Empire. And yet there are those who persist in peddling the treasonous lie that I seek to steal from the people and drive them from their homes.
I suspect they're afraid of losing what little they have left.
Precisely. The common folk have little and less, and you mean to deprive them of even that. You would sow the seeds of your new empire in your own salted earth.
No, common folk, look at your hat.
We have discussed this.
Oh no, she's not common folk, that's our
And I
point.
told you then how putting the empire before her citizens would lead only to revolt.
Without an empire, there are no citizens.
And in yours, there will be only beggars. Is that what Griga wills for her people?
It beggars belief.
Her name in vain, Sabine.
I'll come back later. The citizens revolt. I wonder what the people really think of the Duke's plan. It wouldn't hurt to ask them, I suppose.
Yeah, it's not as if you've got better things to be doing, Clive.
Let's begin with those on the other side of the wall.
So, one of the issues with this just being, like, having a weird MMO structure is now, like, all three countries, because we're constantly dealing with this place, and this place, have matching quests. They're different quests, they're different stories, but the vibe is the same. So, like, as I said, like, when you start the game, you go to a place. They're like, oh, talk to the one guy Sid knows. And that one guy goes, okay, I trust you. Here's a badge. And now everyone in the town will trust you. And you're forced to do a couple of side quests. And then, like, sprinkled throughout the game, you'll get side quests, like, just to come back to those places. But, like, a chapter before, the major side quest was, oh, there's, because shit went down, you now have to defend these places from large armies. They're different armies. One of the armies is, like monsters, one of them's bandits, and one of them's spooky ghosts. And they're like, oh, they're trying to establish a new town for these people, and oh, we've got to get them to work together. And I can't remember what the theme for that one was, but like, this one was pretty good actually, because was it this one or this one? I think it was this one. No, I'm thinking of this, the third time around. Like, one of the people turns out was a judge, and he stopped being a judge because there was an evil judge, and as soon as he's like, hey, that judge is evil, they kicked him out of being a judge. So he made an entire town, but it was secretly a revenge town, and he was just going to murder that judge when he was strong enough. And it's like, yep, I'm strong enough now. It's like, you sure you just want to abandon this town to, like, your petty revenge? It's like, yep, that's literally the whole reason they made the town. And that was quite a good story. Like, all his people end up getting killed. It's like, oh, maybe that was a bad idea. But then the town gets magicked, akashiked, so they would have all died anyway. So they kind of got lucky. And I'm not sure what the story was saying there, but like, at least there's things going on. Whereas, like, one of them, like in here, it turns out the leader of the town is one of the bearers. So like, he just has to leave the town now because nobody trusts him anymore because they think he should be a slave and stuff. And we're having a similar thing here with the Pope moving in, because the leader of the town is a dame of a brothel, and obviously those two aren't compatible elements.
As long as you remain.
Anyway, this is sort of weird thematically to have these stories when the villain of the game is an interdimensional monster god who just wants to have Clive as his world-ending puppet or some shit.
You needn't fret.
There were ghosts at the gates not days ago.
We're doing a survey.
All right there. What is it you're after, sir?
You're an alemonger. What do you think?
Actually, I wondered what you thought of the Duke of Oriflamme.
Oh, him. Not much. None of us traders do. It's thanks to nobles like him that we had to set up shop this side of the wall in the first place. Couldn't have the rabble getting any closer to the holy capital, could they? Now he's trying to drive us out completely.
What's art fight?
Take everything we got from us if we don't clear off. If the dame said she wanted him run out of town, I'd be straight through that checkpoint, tar bucket in hand.
We have hearts and hinds, cocks and kings.
I'm unfamiliar with...
To numb your tongue and put fire in your belly. Would you, care for a taste? Hey?
That voice again. It's just a different personality this time. Huh. And this time the teams are Jacob and... I don't know the characters from that story. I was trying to do the thing with the vampire and the werewolf.
I've been hearing a lot of talk about a certain duke.
Nothing good, I'll wager. Going around acting like he owns the place. And with hardly a word to the dame.
Yeah, I was just being silly.
I take it you'd rather she was in charge.
As far as I'm concerned, she still is. Just need his eminence to sod off back to Oriflamme.
Why, your stall is as ripe as a midden heap.
It's my damn bearer.
Which team are you going to be?
A question, if you don't mind. What do you think of the Duke of Oriflamme?
I was going to say vampires are slightly better at intrigue.
You build a life for yourself somewhere, earning for some noble to turn up and tell you you've got to hand it all over to him. If he thinks his name and his chains give him the right to empty our purses, he's in for a rude awakening. We'll do whatever it takes to keep what's ours. Whatever it takes.
Well, the people seem united enough. What about the soldiers? Let's go.
Yeah.
The vampires get to live in like nice houses and stuff. Ah, fair enough. Yeah, that is a pretty good reason. Oh no, wrong way.
Time to fight. You deserve a rest.
I think it's time for you guys to cool down. It's time to heat things up.
That's all of them.
Oh, we still have to do our survey. So one issue I've had with
There were ghosts at the gate.
fursuits, which is quite the sentence to just start with, is that when you see drawings of floofy people, obviously they're drawings. So, like, fur is drawn in a certain way, right? Where it kind of looks like a person's skin, essentially, but with extra details. But when you see, because I've seen pictures of fursuits. I own the internet. It gets a bit weird when actual real fur is involved. I mean, I could have just pointed at Cats, the movie, and that would have just illustrated my point much better. Obviously, like, this essentially has been solved by, like, anime and cartoons anyway, but I don't know why I said that came to mind.
You're the one who was talking to His Eminence.
On the Dame's behalf, yes. I was trying to persuade him not to take the people's goodwill for granted, but it seems my words fell on deaf ears. What do you think of his plans?
I'm a soldier, mate. He tells me what to do, not the other way round. Listen, I've got nothing but respect for the Dame, but I've got a family to look after. That's where my loyalties lie. Not with the town or the Empire, but with my wife and children.
I do remember the internet saying,
if the Duke can get the cement and the equipment we need to fight off those blue-skinned bastards, I don't care how he does it.
Avatar? Yeah, like, what a lot of the discourse was, you know, people going like, is this a film for furries? And then all the furries go, no, we had nothing to do with it. Stop blaming us for this.
I hear the Duke of Oriflamme plans to turn this town into some sort of fortress. Do you think that's a good idea?
It's not for me to say. All I know is that unless the Emperor orders me otherwise, His Eminence's word is law. Look, no one likes all these taxes and tariffs, but empires don't come for free. Once Sanbreque is back on her feet, we'll all reap the benefits.
Yeah. Townsperson.
Do you have a moment? I wondered if you'd mind sharing your thoughts on the Duke of Oriflamme.
Well, he's made a lot of enemies coming in the way he did. I mean, look around us. You can see the state the realm's in. The traders might not like having the screws put on them, but if they volunteered a few more of their hard-earned gil before things got bad, maybe they wouldn't have to. I think the Duke's got a point when he says rebuilding the Empire is the best way of making sure we're all protected. And if that means people who don't know one end of a sword from another have to make way for those who do, well, that's just how it goes.
Let's see what Philippe makes of all this.
What was it? StarCraft. The soldiers in StarCraft are all, they're all in, like, Space Marine armor, but technically that armor is a prison for them all to be in. Not sure why that sprung to mind. Bill! This Chocobo has armor on.
Captain, do you have a moment?
For you? Certainly. Clive, wasn't it? Thank you for last time. How can I help you?
I wanted to ask you about the Duke of Oriflamme. Do you intend to go along with his plan?
But to tell you the truth, I'm in two minds. It's my sworn duty as a captain of the Imperial Army to obey his orders. But I can't say I agree with him.
Philippe, I remember you saying that you became a soldier to protect the people you loved. Dame included.
That's right, I did.
Well, she doesn't agree with the Duke's orders either. She thinks they could tear Northreach apart.
And she's probably right. Thank you, Clive. I know what I need to do now. Protecting the people I love is what matters. Doesn't matter how.
You gonna stab a Pope?
Duty calls, so I better go. Thanks again.
It seems Philippe wants to do the right thing at least. I expect Isabel will be pleased to hear that.
Who's that down there with the big hammer? In the center of my screen. Who are you? Just a light stabbing. Jump over the wall, Clive. Well-armored bird. Oh, you'll jump over that wall.
Ah, Clive. How did you fare? Were you able to speak with the Duke?
I was, but...
So Northreach is to be a fortress after all. Well, it will certainly help to hold back the thralls.
Hello, Eisen.
There's no denying that. Though I doubt it will come as much consolation to the townspeople whose worldly goods are confiscated to pay for it. They deserve to be heard, Clive.
I'm afraid she's a dame.
Say in this new empire the Duke means to build.
Sadly, His Eminence values their obedience more than their opinions, and hopes to reassert the authority of the state. I fear he sees the people as mere pawns on his chessboard to be
dame of a brothel.
good. Needless to say, they themselves are of a different opinion, and would rather their destinies were in your hands. The soldiers, meanwhile, are content to follow their orders. And not just because of the Duke's rank, but because of his vision.
I thought as much. Had I sworn to protect Sambrek, I dare say I too would want nothing more than to see it rise from the ashes.
They looked at some footage of The Witcher and they're like, right, we'll have one of those.
But the battle is lost.
I don't know about that.
What happened to your uniform?
Is he dressed like Cloud?
Along with my resignation. Told the lads I wished them well, but that I owe it to those I love to call it a day.
Why?
Because I realize what really matters to me. Not following some nobleman's orders for the sake
No,
of it,
it's in a...
but protecting what I...
Hang on. Why is Josh here? I've read these already. No, it's in a world called Valisthea, country known as Storm and Ash. But it's medieval, so you got to have everyone's got to be British.
care about. Protecting Northreach.
Even places that clearly aren't in Europe.
Will return, but I'm certain they're not finished with us yet. And when they do come back, we need to be ready for them. We need to stand together, all of
Certain
us.
places. This is clearly Britain, yeah.
To lead us, milady. I reckon we can do it. It was you who finally convinced me, Clive. There's no point following orders if they go
But
against...
there's 5 different countries, so they've all got different themes.
All of us, standing together.
Together.
Always been Northreach's best hope, and one which still lies within our grasp. We have only to turn our attentions to the true enemy. Thank you, Philippe, for showing me what I must do.
Anything for you, milady.
He is dressed like Cloud, isn't he?
Standing together. Would you mind if I borrowed a few of the lads from the Vale to help keep watch around the town? I fear His Eminence has loftier tasks.
Are we going to be fighting the Empire?
Not at all. Be my guest.
Wouldn't be the first time.
I have no idea. I don't know enough about history. I'm assuming not, though, because
Maybe hope for Northreach yet.
that armor is incredibly heavy.
I, for my part, shall continue to work upon the Duke.
Ignoring his very silly leather armor he's got on constantly.
Tempt him into joining hands. But I suspect I shall have to call upon your aid again.
It's probably better to think of an armored knight as a tank. Like, ignoring the way this game shows them, which is like where you have armies and armies of armored knights. Like, metal is a difficult resource, especially in medieval times. You have like 7 armored people, and the rest are just lightly. Like you give it to your most well-trained knights. So no, I assume it was just when you were expecting, or guards. That's why we have moats and stuff like that. But like, you have scouts and moats. but I'm not 100% sure. There was no fight. That was just a quest of me talking to a bunch of people. That was strange. Good Bocklad. Why am I here?
You won't find a finer array this side of the strait. Many thanks. What's happened?
Yeah, this... what was I going to say? Yeah, I mean, they'd be incredibly unwieldy, the actual real-life armors, I think. What are you doing?
Ah, Clive. You'll be pleased to know that the negotiations are progressing well.
That is good.
The thing you've got to think about with armor is that it's, what's it, like, armor and weaponry is, it's all designed based on what they had to face. So if these armies have this, then eventually a counter comes, and it's all designed to beat them, and so on and so forth. That's why things like Romans were quite a big deal, because they invented, like, what if we had strategies, and we did our armors based on, like, what if we kitted out our entire, like, it was a big deal that they put a lot of effort into organizing armies with different structures and stuff like that. So you have, like, very basic things that we take for granted had to be slowly invented, and it's all what's it called? An arms race. Like, the history of armor and the history of weapons is a history of countering people. So it's not, there's no such thing as having the best weapon. It's always the best weapon against the next people. And while that might be just inventions, you know, like the sling and stuff, other times it's my pole is slightly stronger than your pole, therefore we win. Because it's all to do with percentages and numbers.
Brad in Randala has just sent word that the contract should be signed very soon. But I still have much.
What if you're in Final Fantasy?
It's a huge undertaking.
It's whatever looks coolest.
At once. You couldn't do me a quick favor, could you?
Absolute.
What is it this time? More wild beasts?
Nothing like that. I just need you to go over to the caravans and ask El how long...
So this is a very weird game. Have you ever played Devil May Cry?
Find out exactly how much faster I need to get all these supplies moved.
All right. I'll go and ask.
Thanks, Clive.
'Cause
I owe you one.
Imagine if a Devil May Cry game inexplicably had the structure of Final Fantasy XIV. When we're in the actual story, we do none of this. We do very little of this. And it's Final Fantasy again. But when we're not doing the active story, it's side quests, but with... Yeah, that makes sense.
Don't blame yourself, El. This is their fault, not yours.
I know, but...
Yeah, that's the thing. What masculinity means a very different thing in different times to different people again.
Is something wrong?
Vonnie came to give me a message from our intermediary. The talks with the Republican army have fallen through. We've reached an agreement with the Silver Peak Consortium instead. Though prices have fallen of late, we deliberately offered above the going rate to try and deter other bidders. But the Consortium offered double what we did, and the army jumped at the chance.
And you had no opportunity to make a counteroffer?
None at all. And we were so close.
El? What's happened? I saw Vonnie leaving. She didn't look happy.
And with good reason.
Was it Voldo with the codpiece? Aggressive codpieces.
But I thought we were the only ones the Fist was speaking to about the bearers. How did the Consortium even find out about this?
It's not so surprising. They have ears all over the Republic. This isn't over. The Consortium will have to sell these bearers eventually, and at the price they paid, Buyers will be few and far between. I'm going to Randalar myself.
Alone? You sure that's wise?
Are you offering to be my bodyguard?
Of sorts.
Meet me at the checkpoint near the capital gates. I'll send
No, these are merchants, but this is quite a small town.
You go to Cashlock, Theo, and get everything ready.
Yeah, the voices in this game don't really make sense. Everyone...
Even if I fail to free these bearers.
They have local voices, but they're only in certain parts of the game.
And keep any prowling beasts at bay.
Oh, and that's me, is it? Well, it looks like I'm following orders till she gets back from meeting the Silver Peak Consortium.
They all have hair gel as well.
They've been doing their best to undermine our scheme. She'll never join them after this, surely. No, she said it herself. She still has plans for Cashlock, even if this one falls through. She means to stay with us then. I can't say I'm not happy to hear it, but... is this what she really wants?
You have to trust her.
You're right. It's what she wants
Ooh,
now.
Pop-Tarts.
And if El's off fighting for the cause...
I should preheat my oven soon.
So I bid you farewell and safe travels, my friend. I'll gather my men and leave for Cashlock. We'll make sure the place is well stocked and defended. You go to Randalar and see if you can stop my sister biting the Consortium's heads off.
There's a couple of characters in this game that look like they were directly taken from Kingdom Hearts, but with better graphics. Joshua is definitely like a Kingdom Hearts character.
If she won't consider her prospects, someone has to.
Although, this is probably the Yoshi-P influence. I'm playing a 30-year-old, which is...
Right.
I don't know, like, I don't know the last time I played a Final Fantasy where you get to play a 30-year-old. It's nice. I mean, he doesn't look 30. Nobody looks their age in this game. Fucking Sid keeps on calling himself an old man, and he looks the same age as Clive. And then it's like, oh no, he's got a fully grown daughter who's a person as well. That's what I was going to say. Understanding history, specifically the historical culture, is sort of understanding that culture is like largely arbitrary. A lot of the rules we have are largely arbitrary, and just because we become our neighbours, and just like let's put it this way: I've been watching somebody play this particular game, and he fucking hates the side quest in these games because all the side quests are like really like low petty, like, oh, I need some pots and pans and I can't quite reach them, and him going, why are you doing this? And then obviously because I played it, like they grow and grow and grow, but it's all about getting to know people. It's all slice of life because it's all very Japanese. And the thing is, like, to him, he's the rules, the stories, and all this is just like, why the fuck are you filling it up? But it's just, I don't mean specifically with this, but with a lot of Japanese games, there's a lot that I just sort of let through because I've played enough to go, it's just what they do, and it's meaningful to somebody that isn't me.
What's happened?
I still, like, I don't know, like, literally everyone says the side quests in this game are bad as well. Like, it actually does a really... the game will be doing great, like, it'll be doing Dragon Ball Z, Game of Thrones politics, and then for 20 minutes, and then you'll have to spend 3 hours faffing about in towns doing chores. Hello, rats. But like, they would have only had a 20-hour game if they did that. But like, I get why it exists, and it seems like an experiment as well. I know Yoshi-P didn't actually direct this, but it's got his signature all over it. Like, even Final Fantasy 12 didn't have this fucking system.
Faster.
It does undermine the game a lot. Taking the worst parts of MMOs to pad out. And they have to pad it out. I'll show you the combat. They have to pad it out because the combat's quick. Because it's not MMO combat, it's... It's Devil May Cry combat, but with an MMO world, inexplicably. And the best move in the game is this. Oh, you can't see why, but you can gather people with that. Yeah. I think, as an experiment, I was saying to Phoenix, there's a lot of nudity in this game. There's a lot of people saying "fuck" because they clearly wanted to tell a Game of Thrones mature story, but it's Japanese, so it's anime, so they can't. I shouldn't say it's Japanese. There's plenty of actual good Japanese writing. It's just not in popular media. But the reason why they have all the nude models, which obviously you can't see because, again, Japanese media, it's not allowed to have nudity on mainstream things, is because, apart from Clive, they're all like MMO characters. They're built as dolls first with clothes put on, whereas all the other modern games, you build the entire model and you don't expect them to change clothes unless it's like a cufflet or something. And they've gone, we want to tell a mature story, and mature stories have naked people in. We've seen them. There's loads of little things that are clearly just holdovers from it being inspired by an MMO. Much more so than Final Fantasy XII, which is really weird. Considering that was... Well, 12 was before 14, obviously. No, 12's after 11. What the fuck am I talking about? Literally the same thing. It's kind of fascinating, but I do...
Ready, go? Yeah!
Yes, but it all happens in scene. You can... There are scenes where their mouths fit their, what they're saying, and there are scenes where they go map, 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 and you might as well just ignore all the other scenes. It's also really funny seeing something that's clearly inspired by Game of Thrones then slowly morph into Dragon Ball Z, which actually Final Fantasy XIV does as well, but it does it backwards. My favourite part of 14, well, I've not finished it, is that, like, you have to fight, like, you know, when you fight... I've forgotten his name. The Realm Reborn. Realm Reborn has you do a giant anime fight against a wizard and a king, right? Or whatever the fuck, the tyrant with the gunblade. And then the story between Heavensward and Realm Reborn is a really, like, mature, intriguing, actual story about betrayal, where all the things are, like, there's where you have your team betray you and the queen is killed, even though they undo that later, and that's really good. That's like the best part. And then they undo it at the start of Heavensward because a different writer comes on board and goes, no, she's not dead, unwrite that. But, like, they're clearly capable of doing these, like, non-anime, but also, how do you do fights? How do you have boss fights? If the world is grey and it's all to do with systems, and you can't do Game of Thrones computer game anime because they're wholly incompatible with each other. Like, you need a villain, and that's like why they have to be metaphors, right? Like Sephiroth is a metaphor, and it works as a metaphor. The villain is also supposed to be a metaphor, but his big deal is that he's going to take away human will, and it's like, yeah. And you know, all the goodies going, I think humans having will is a good thing. And also there's like that's why there's slaves in this game. That's the theme. Because they have no will. And it's like, I think we all like universally agree that slavery was a bad thing. And like, there are people that can tell stories about slaves that are mature and good. But like, there's just a lot of scenes. And like, also like these terrible people that are in this game absolutely exist as well, but like, yeah, I don't know if the writing is mature enough to really get away with what they were trying to do. But yeah, Clive does grow. He literally grows. He starts as a 15-year-old.
Here they are now.
You wish to consult with me?
But also, yeah, he was also the strongest person in the world. even before.
It's about the bearers
He
who
was given
recently purchased from the Fist.
all the powers.
We had all but finished making arrangements to buy them ourselves.
That does happen when you meet.
Stepped into the fray.
That does happen occasionally.
The consortium had an interest
where somebody just goes, "Oh look, we've got a genius with us."
For you that kept us from bidding, but your hesitancy in accepting our offer to you suggested that the regard was not mutual, and so we resumed our business.
I did not hesitate. I am simply not inclined to make such decisions without first giving them due consideration. But what is done is done. Come then. How much do you want for them?
But yeah, that totally does.
You are too late yet again.
The side character coming in and just giving you an immediate solution does definitely happen.
Merchandise without a purchaser in mind. The bearers belong to him.
One thing I did really like is it put a lot of effort right at the very start to go, there are 5 kingdoms, there are 5 kings. We have to give them different titles because it's really confusing if you have 5 kings. So there's an emperor, there's a king, there's a pope. And they all have their own... they all have their own things going on. There's even a map in this game where you can see where all the armies are at any time. But now we're sort of post that because we've defeated them all. There isn't a king that has an evil empire. There are 5 kings, and the evil empire is... They're all good. They could all be good empires, but they keep fighting each other. Their own... that's the game at its best, where it's not... It hasn't simplified it into good... Apart from... We're clearly the Starks, so we were in the good family. Our dad was nice to his slaves, and he totally would have abolished it. He was getting around to it, but the actual villain of the game appears to be an interdimensional monster who's God, which I know again is all Final Fantasies, but thematic, and it's one of the kings, because one of the kings is just oh yeah, no, I'm totally down with destroying the world as we know it. Yeah, it sounds like a great idea.
A trader from across the water. A most demanding fellow, if it's any consolation. He insisted the bearers be fed, dressed, even given their own bunks for the voyage over. That's what you get when you deal with continental types.
I wouldn't know.
Oh yes, the culture on the continent is quite different to ours. They pay good money for bearers not fit for the knacker's yard, and treat them like kings. But as long as they pay...
That does sound unusual. No matter then. If they've already left our shores, there's little that can be done. Allow me to withdraw my interest. And with it, my interest in joining your organization.
My associates will be sorry to hear that.
Unfortunately, yeah, again, there are scenes that are important and scenes that aren't, and these are all side quest scenes, which are all optional.
I'm sorry you weren't able to save them.
As am I. But I only have myself to blame. He was right, you see. The Silver Peak Consortium did intend to buy those bearers before I did. Their representative hinted at a possible purchase when he came to recruit me. I feigned interest in joining them in the hope he might be encouraged to tell me more, and he did just that. As soon as he left, I sent my own offer to Randalar.
So you never...
No. I entertained the Consortium's proposal solely so I could learn more about those bearers. But I was a fool to think they wouldn't find out. I knew exactly who I was dealing with.
You tried.
I did. And if what he said was true, the bearers are to be well treated. Which is something, at least. They deserved more. I wanted so badly to see them freed.
Eloise! Eloise! Word from Cashlock. The village is under attack. A pack of beasts have come down from the mountains, and there's a dragon at its head. Theo and the others are trying to hold them off as best they can, but the odds are against them. They need help, and fast.
Theo!
I'll go
Right, well, good luck with that. I'm going somewhere else. Oh, okay.
I'll gather some men and join you there. Just... make sure he's safe.
Right.
Hold on, Theo.
No, not the abandoned fishing village. Alright, we might be able to get all the quests done. But it's... We'll see. I've got to go in 30 minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like, well, I don't actually know any of these people, and you've not really given me enough to... Like, there are people... Everyone in the hideaway, like... And the leaders you get a lot of time with, especially if you do the side quests. But also, it's kind of spread thin. They've given everyone dialogue, because they said, oh, we put effort into our side quests, and their effort was voicing all the dialogue, and, like, that hasn't actually helped.
Where's Theodore?
Upriver!
He led the dragon that way to keep it from the village, but the whole area's flooded with ether.
We just have to pray he makes it out in one piece.
I can do better than that. Torgal, with me.
But look, we have a dog. I think. Where's my dog? There he is. I don't know what the fuck that is. I guess out there. Well, yeah, all these quests have added new areas as well. I think there's an arcade mode and there's a hard mode, and it feels like the intended way to play this game is actually that. But you have to play like Final Fantasy VII Remake, you have to play the entire game first to get to it.
Where are you, Thea?
I think Thea might be about 180 yards.
Damn it. The ether's too thick. These creatures have already turned.
Stop eating people's legs! Might be over-leveled for these quests as well.
I need to find Theodore before that dragon does. Looks like it's found me.
Hello, dragon.
This thing's turned as well. This isn't going to be easy.
Oh, fuck. I'll be that. Cause it's easy. fucking hell, that does loads of stagger.
Get him!
Oh yeah, I forget I can... That's right! Come on, John. Fuck. However. Oh shit! I wasn't paying attention to my health. Fuck. Damn it! I hate it when it happens right near the end of the fight. I did die.
Damn it. It's too thick. Those creatures have already turned. It's over. Any more time. I need to find Theodore before.
Skip this.
Does.
Reap.
Looks like it's found me. This thing's turned as well.
No, Clive's the special. Because God wants him to be the vessel of God. But yeah, everyone else turns into stone if you use magic too much. Also, Clive's a dominant, so there's only like 8 dominants in the world. But he was a slave for 13 years. What's on my dog's magic? I need to be doing more ice dodges, I think. I've slain this enemy. The timing's pretty good. He is the only character you form. Yeah, you can steal powers from the other enemies, and switch between three. Oh no! That was actually a character. Oh no, he's gonna be saved. I don't think he is going to be saved.
I think it might be a little too late for that.
I didn't know him well, but I did know who that character was.
Oh no. There's only so much ether a man can take.
Why were you even here? This is a dead zone.
Just wouldn't let me leave.
Oh, fair enough. What dickhead to Drake?
Thanks, Sid, for finishing what I could not. For keeping Elle's dream. Theodore.
Yeah, so the end of the side quests are quite good, but you have to set this all up, you have to do a lot of faffy side quests to know who this guy is. To be sad that he's a zombie now. Clive, he's a zombie. Unless we're about to be able to cure being a zombie.
Turned. And so will you.
Take care of my sister.
Theodore, wait.
Goodbye, El.
I don't think that'd be physically possible. I've seen that in anime before. If an area is too saturated with magic, it turns akashic, and so it's a bit like they've taken the best thing from Final Fantasy V. So basically, I am Ifrit. So your base moves are all Ifrit stuff, but your special moves are if we can get into the menu, I can show you. But you can't ever see you can't ever see the other summons after you fight them, because you end up fighting them all first. Hang on, can I access the menu? No, it's I can access this. Oh no, active time load doesn't work. Why is Joshua's not relevant right now?
Thank you, Clive. I think I'll be all right now.
That was true bravery he showed.
Your base moves and your limit breaker are all Ifrit based, but some of your special moves are from whatever summons you've unlocked, basically.
Others' well-being,
but you never get to turn into them. Because some of the boss fights, you're literally a giant. You have kaiju fights.
Because I sent him to that place.
Although you do get the Control Phoenix as well. But you're not Clive when you do that.
He was ready to do whatever it took to show you he could stand on his own. So that you would finally be free to live.
He only takes a bit of their powers.
To live my own life. He never could come to terms with the choice I made.
What exactly happened? You once told me Theo was the first bearer you ever helped.
Told me enough.
We grew up in Canva. We were born to one of the great trading houses. And I was chosen to inherit the family business.
Yeah, it's all done in, like, after-death backstory.
Theo did not. While I studied the art of commerce...
No, there's no summon. The dominance is the closest thing.
A late bloomer. In more ways than one. For unlike most bearers, it wasn't until his 15th summer that his powers awakened. My parents tried to drive him out of the house and into the care of the constables. But before they could, I took him into mine.
Theo told me something else. He clearly admired your devotion to the cause of freeing others like him from slavery. But he said you deserved a better life than this. He wanted to free you from what he called your bonds, just as you freed him from his.
I would be lying if I said I had not wondered from...
Like, the writing... I had a visible reaction of him turning into a zombie and her seeing it. That's the story. This, I don't give a fuck about. Oh, he was a great brother and I'm sad he's dead. I know! I feel like that's pretty obvious.
The decision I made. Being with my brother meant more to me than tradition or reputation. I only had to look at him to remind myself of that night and the choice I made and the fact that I would make the same choice again in a heartbeat.
MMOs need writing and writing and writing and writing and writing because it needs to use time up.
Never a burden.
But that sort of writing is really bad here.
Think that, if anything, I was the one who weighed him.
Because everyone talks in fucking soliloquies.
You weren't, Eloise. He said it himself, that he had always been grateful to you for saving him. And that he wanted to repay you by letting you live the life you were denied. Neither you nor Theo weighed each other down.
And it doesn't help that everyone's repeating themselves. I talked to her, and she's like, "Oh yeah, he's doing stuff. And he's like, yeah, I want her to live the life." And then he's still saying, "Yeah, I want you to live the life." "Oh no, he's dead." But you know what he thought? He thought that he was high, needed to.
You loved one another.
I know. We all know this information already.
Whatever was necessary to continue living your lives together, and you always would have.
You're right. All I ever wanted. All I ever did. It was so weak.
I mean, it's what makes it frustrating is they have all the ingredients they can keep. Keep all these characters. Just, like, not everyone has to talk in speeches. Like, this scene without any talking, with just the end bit of him standing behind her, would have just been a lot more effective. Like, less is more. I'm quite patient with silly bad writing as well. I just this particular quest is a really good example of it doing it the worst. I now officially don't give a fuck about Theo's death.
Make a difference here. We can help people.
We didn't need 4 minutes of dialogue to establish that she was sad. But now she's doing better now. She's going to move on with her life. Theo has given her the strength to do the things that she was going to do.
Bringing smiles to people's faces, just like we always have. And to Theo's, wherever he is. This is the life I have chosen. The life I will always choose.
I've made a choice of my own. To continue helping you however I can.
I think we've all learned something today.
I need it.
Thank you, Clive.
I think pointlessly dying during a dragon attack is actually what needed to happen or something. I don't know. Apparently so. Yeah. Some of the quests are not as bad. I think it doesn't help that Theo and I don't know her name are really fucking boring. Like, there are like so many little towns with like a collective of characters, and some of them do better and worse. But like these two were like the last people you met, and they were like, the plot of this area was, oh no, we need a pass. It's always a little arbitrary thing. We can't get across the bridge. Why? Well, we need a tourist pass. Why don't we have our pickpocket stolen? Why are the pickpockets stolen? Because there is a band of thieves that have been employing children. And oh look, the woman is just there to help. And now you've got to learn of the local people. And it's like, cool, I've done this 6 times already, and it's wearing thin. And so they're unlucky enough to be like the 6th time I've done this. And so like my goodwill is lessened sort of every single time. And just sort of more people, like the judge is the first person, but also the judge is kind of an interesting character because you always, he's acted in such a way, they clearly wrote him first as well. He's acted in such a way that like, for some reason he's this sort of importance about him. He's like, you sleep on his floor and stuff like that, and he's got this town and he's doing you a favor, but like he clearly doesn't have to. And then when you find out he's a judge, it kind of all makes sense that he built the town just specifically to do a really weird revenge. It's sort of weird in anime, but like him going, yeah, actually this town now we're all actually going to go in a little war now. Like, was an interesting little story. It actually all built up over time, all did stuff. This didn't have time to build up into a story. This is the 2nd time I've met these people. It's why it's called Trading Places, or it might be the 3rd. Like, it just hasn't had the time. And, it was really annoying when, like, that was a 5-minute cutscene. So it has loads of time, it's just not spent it wisely. So, like, this is a particularly bad example in this game. And I think it was just a bit unlucky because this is literally like one of the last things you did. Let's hand it.
After it.
Clive loves his dog. We did not need a 10-minute speech for that. Oh, how do I know? Because they've dedicated a fucking button to me knowing this. Everyone loves a dog. That's funny. That's an interesting coincidence. But of course, this all took extra development. Every single these, look at these bespoke animations that don't use the systems that are already part of it. I don't mind, like, because there's clearly a part of these stories that people like, and people keep playing that MMO. Right, so yeah, you start off the game with just these, just this circle here, and just this, and you don't know this is Ifrit yet because that's a plot point. And so you have like a couple of this ability is the shift ability, and so it's like everyone gets a kind of core movement. So that teleports you means you can attack birds. But you start off with the cheap ones, and there's always this like super one and one that's kind of more utility based. So that's for rebounding objects. And at a certain point in the story, you get Garuda's powers, and then you can cycle between the two. Again, you can only have like two of them. This one's utility. Oh yeah, it's a counter. See, I've never fucking considered actually what these buttons are for. So, and this thing's a hilarious move. I really like it, and I kind of miss it. But when I have the points, I can upgrade it. Because it's got loads of stagger. You can sort of see on the right there, one's damage and one's stagger. I mean, it keeps like literally everyone in the same way that in this one here. This one, ignition. You can use it to gather loads of people. That one just puts a bunch of people in the air. It's really funny. And then you get the third one. This is the utility. For this rod, when you hit people, when you hit the rod, it hits things nearby. So if you plonk it down, then do all your moves. That was melting bosses, but like, but you can only have 3. So when you select your favorite 3, and you pick your favorite 2 powers. So you have the like mandatory movement power and the 2 extra powers, but eventually you can master. See, they took it from Final Fantasy V. You can master the spells and put them in other slots, and then you have your builds then. And literally, when I learned of that, I was like, oh, thank fuck, because like that makes the system a lot more interesting. Especially because I just wasn't into Titan's moves. Because obviously, as soon as you unlock new moves, you're like, well, I had a build, but okay. And like all his moves are counters. Like maybe I'm shit at counters, or these ones that you have to hold down the button for ages. Like he gets a block, and that was these 2. I think I'm gonna have to let you go. I'm afraid. I'm gonna have to really quick, but you get the idea. There's actually a pretty good system. It takes way too long to like unlock everything. But the core combat's pretty good as well. But like, yeah, all the times you spend not doing the main story is an exercise in patience. I am going to disappear pretty quickly. Thank you very much for watching, because I didn't know what the time was. I wasn't paying attention. But I've been the Johnstruct. I've been having a Final Fantasy XVI adventure. Farewell. I will see you next time.